Well, Curtis, thank you very much for joining the podcast.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, did you watch UFC yesterday? Your teammate was fighting.
Yeah, I saw that fight.
What's your general take?
I think Alistair was winning the fight, majority of the fight, up until the last few seconds, and then he dropped his hands and he got caught. It happens sometimes. It's highly unfortunate, and it. I wish it hadn't happened to Alistair because after the last year of us working out together, I've gotten to know him a lot better, and I I view him as a friend. And it sucks to watch one of your friends lose a fight the way he lost because, like I said, he was winning the whole fight. But it's over now. There's not much you can really do about it because the referee, you called it. You can't go back. You can't reverse the call. So we've all just got to move on, and hopefully his lip doesn't have any permanent nerve damage. I hope this doesn't affect the rest of his career. Hopefully.
Yeah, it looked bad, but he went through so many wars. I'm sure he'll be fine. You fought Alistair some time ago. I'm curious, how's it when you find out that he's coming to join the team? What's general dynamics? Is it like, oh man, what's up? How are you? Or I don't know how the.
No. There's no problems. There's no beef. He's very
Mhm.
professional. I'm very professional. We never talked any smack about one another. The fight happened. I won. It was a good fight. He got some good strikes in. I got some good strikes in. Um, he's an OG. He's a legend. So when a legend wants
Yeah.
to work out with you, obviously you're happy. You're happy to have elite heavyweight to work out with, to learn from, to just learn how to be a professional and maintain my longevity. I learned a lot from Alistair. And like I said, it wasn't any animosity from the beginning. He reached out to me and asked me about coming out to Denver, and I was like, I have no problem because why would I have animosity? I won the fight, so if he's able to reach out to me, I'm man enough to be cool about it and allow him to come work out. And uh, I wouldn't I wouldn't want to have issues in my own gyms. So if I thought there'd be any animosity, I wouldn't have even gave him the green light to come visit.
Yeah, and it seems like he was wrestling quite a bit. Is it like you were the one who preparing him for to wrestle? Because I believe commentary said that he did more takedowns than in his entire career.
Yeah, his last, he's had how many fights did he have with us? He had the fight in Beijing. He won that fight with wrestling. He had the fight in Russia. He beat Olenek with wrestling, and this last one. Um, oh yeah, I definitely think me and him working out together has had an effect on his mindset. He's a decent grappler. He just doesn't use it because he doesn't have the mindset that I want to wrestle. You have to have a mindset that you want to use your wrestling. Like it's going to be a grueling, ugly type of style, but
Hmm.
you got to be okay with that. And I think before for years he just preferred like his style, like the stand up style. But I think he saw how effective my wrestling was against him. I
Hmm.
think it gave him a new perspective on how to use wrestling. I think he's been implementing it. Like I said, he was on a 2 fight winning streak and on to winning another one before he got caught using wrestling. So I think that's a definitely new element to his game, and I hope he continues to evolve and add new elements.
Yeah. You yourself came out with a great victory in Abu Dhabi against Shamil Abdurakhimov. Can you kind of give 2 seconds on that fight? What's your takeaways from that fight from you?
Uh, it went the way me and my management and my coaches, it went the way we all thought it would go. I was the more athletic guy. I'm the better wrestler. I got better conditioning. So you put all that together with my footwork and my tenacity and my grounding pound, that's usually what it's going to lead to. Like I can do that to the majority of the guys in the division. And although I haven't been able to do it to Ngannou yet, I definitely have the potential to do it to him. I can do that. I can ground and pound anybody. Once you're on the ground, that's my world. It's just I got to get you on the ground.
You fought Ngannou twice, and I'm sure you're probably gonna meet again because you are the youngest heavyweight in the top 10, and one of the youngest on in the entire roster of heavyweights. So eventually, I mean, you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
What would you do differently in the next fight?
I wouldn't do anything differently. Based off the last fight, we had the perfect game plan, just like this last fight. It was the exact same game plan. Just we got caught. It happens, you know. I don't expect it to happen again. That was 1 out of 10 type of thing. Like if we fight 10 times, that doesn't happen again. It's just he caught me on that button, and it happens sometimes. And even then, I don't think I was out. I think the referee kind of jumped the gun a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he saw, and I don't blame him. Ngannou is a very physically imposing specimen. Like he's got the big muscles. He looks real scary. I get that. And as a referee, another human being, you see this giant dude hitting me, but to the ref, it looks like those blows are like destroying me, but they really weren't. A lot of them were glancing. A lot of them weren't clean. And I feel like I was still in that fight. So I wouldn't change any part of my game plan if we fight again.
So when you compare fighting Ngannou with some other heavyweights you fought, what's different about him, if anything?
Just the reach and the power. He's got extremely long reach. I'm not used to going against guys with longer arms than myself.
Mm-hmm.
I usually have the reach advantage in most of my fights. Just 1 inch, his is 83. So I know it's not a lot, but that extra 2 inches, when he caught me in Beijing, he caught me right here. Had his hands been 81 inches, he might have caught me here instead, and I might not have gone out. So just that 2 inches of reach.
That's interesting.
But besides that, I don't really think he presents. He doesn't have a lot of weapons, so he's not hard to figure out. You don't have to watch out for leg kicks or knees or short elbows or takedowns. All you gotta watch out is they're right over him. It's easier said than done, but that makes it easier when there's only one weapon to watch out for, as opposed to like 4 or 5 weapons.
Yeah, your next fight is announced as you against JDS, so congrats, gonna be a main event. What's your take on that fight, on JDS as a fighter, and how are you preparing for it?
Junior, again, he's like Mark Hunt. He's like Alistair. He's an OG. Yeah. He's a legend in the sport. He's a former title holder. So I respect him. I give him the utmost respect. I know he's got dangerous hands still. He's a good boxer. Yeah, he got some nice kicks also. But I think I'm the better wrestler, as I always believe. I think I'm more explosive. I think I got better conditioning. That's why I live here in Denver, because I train at 5,800 feet above sea level. So I know I got better conditioning. And my hands are still growing and evolving. I see this fight going almost like the Alistair fight. Like the first round, kind of a feel him out round, maybe get a takedown, wear him out on the ground. Second round, he slows down a bit. I'm able to open up a bit, land some strikes, maybe some inside leg kicks, because he's real heavy on that lead leg. And once I get 1 takedown, that usually leads to 2, 4, 6. That's usually how it goes. So I'm expecting to get 8 takedowns this fight and on the ground. Once I get my takedowns and he starts to break down from all the picking up and slamming and getting up and having to build his way back up with me on the back, I think that I'll wear him out and I'll be able to pass his guard, get the half guard. And when I get the half guard, that's when the elbows usually come. So that's how I envision that fight going.
You openly share with people your fighting plan, but seems like you pretty much follow the same strategy all the time, right? It's most of the time. Do you ever discuss with the coaches saying like, okay, this time let's try something different. Let's confuse this person.
I'm the best wrestler. I'm not gonna let anyone dissuade me from using my best weapon. Like that makes no sense to me. Like every fighter has a specialty, and when you're going against a top-notch guy, trying to mix it up, I guess you can do that. But me personally, I'd rather do what I do best and make that work. So me adjusting my game plan to try and stop what you do best.
Yeah, let's change gears a little bit. I want to learn a little more about you as a person and your way to MMA. So you grew up in Illinois, right? Where exactly?
Chicago on the south side.
South Chicago. Oh, that's the legendary South Side that I read about. That's a tough neighborhood.
Yeah.
Tell me about your upbringing.
It is. A lot of people automatically assume because I grew up on the south side, I grew up in like the hood or in a rough area. Both my parents have master's degrees. They both have really good jobs. My dad's a police officer. My mom's a social worker. So I wasn't poor. I wasn't broke. I've always had nice things. I always had video games, all the toys I ever wanted, all the books, all the food. Never starved. I had a good life. I went to private school. My whole life, I went to private Catholic school. I'm a Catholic. I went to a Catholic all-boys high school in Chicago, and I wrestled. And then I won state for wrestling in Illinois, Illinois is one of the top 5 states in America for wrestling. I don't know if you know that, but just so you know.
I didn't know that.
And after that, I got a wrestling scholarship to a Division I school in Northern Illinois. I wrestled there for 1 year. I did pretty good with the wrestling, but my grades slipped, and I lost my scholarship. And then I went to a smaller school, a community college or a junior college, and I wrestled there for 2 years. And I won JUCO Nationals in 2012. And then after that, I was going to continue my wrestling and continue getting my education, but then I didn't get my transcripts in to the school I wanted to transfer to in time. So I missed out on the fall semester in 2012. And I wanted to do something to stay in shape. So a buddy of mine, his dad owned a boxing gym, and he kept begging me, well, not begging, but he kept bothering me, kept asking me to go. And one day I went, tried it out for a little bit. And then he and his dad approached me like a month later after I'd been going there doing boxing, just basic boxing, nothing like crazy hard. I wasn't or anything, just hitting the bag, hitting pads. But they approached me after a month. It was like, do you want an amateur fight? And the way they got me to do it was because they told me I could still wrestle. And that's really what got me into MMA, and I miss wrestling. I miss being able to use my wrestling. So I took the amateur fight. I won it pretty easily, and I just continued fighting after that. I told myself I would stop once I lost, and I didn't lose until my UFC debut a couple years later.
Walk me through the time when you were fighting in regional promotion, right?
Yeah.
And what was it? RFA? What was the name of it?
It was RFA. It's now LFA. It got bought out. But yeah, it was RFA.
And what point you got the call from UFC, and how did this whole transition go?
I got the call. I fought for RFA on my birthday, February 18th of 2016. And I got the call March 21st, like a month later. And it was just like, do you want to make your debut against Francis Ngannou in Croatia? And when the UFC offers you a debut, it doesn't matter who it's against, you have to say yes. So I said yeah, and we took the fight. I didn't really have a great camp because I was in Chicago. I didn't really have great partners to work out with. I didn't really have anyone to work out with. didn't really have a coach. I was pretty much doing my own strength and conditioning, doing my own everything. And it showed in the fight. I didn't properly prepare, and I paid the price.
Yeah, and when did you decide to join Elevation? Is it after that fight?
Yeah, about a month later after that, I came down here for a visit, about a week. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I felt like this was a gym that could get me to the next level in it, and it has been. I moved here in July later that year, and then I've been here ever since.
And why that particular gym?
Just because I like the way it's not really, nobody here views themselves as above anyone else, regardless of their world rank or whatever. Everyone's like on the same level. It starts at the top. It starts with the coaches. They all have a great relationship with each other. They allow us to train other gyms. They don't have any, they're not like trying to hoard us and not allow us to grow and go to other gyms and explore stuff. And the biggest thing is the elevation out here. Like, that's the biggest thing that got me to move out here. Like, when you work out here and then you go somewhere else, your lung capacity is just amazing.
As you were growing up, did you like UFC? Did you watch or Gracie's stuff, all this?
I wasn't really into it. Like, had you asked me a decade ago when I was 18 in high school if I was going to be an MMA fighter, I would have legitimately laughed at you because I had no aspirations of. I never even been in a street fight. I never been in a fight before in my life.
Yeah, you're a big guy. Who would fight you on the street? That's dumb.
Yeah. So I just love wrestling. I'm a purist when it comes to wrestling. I still watch collegiate wrestling. I still do my best to keep up with local Chicago wrestling. Like, I just love wrestling. That was my pathway. That's what got me into it.
You ever thought about, ever dreamed about being in the Olympics?
That was my original goal.
Mm-hmm.
My goal was to be on the Olympic roster for freestyle, but I kind of took a bump in the road when it's harder to make that roster when you're not at a Division I university. So after I lost my scholarship, I kind of changed my world plans. I mean, my future plans, and then somehow ended up doing MMA. Like, it wasn't the plan though. It just kind of happened that way.
I don't think you regretted much. You're doing it fantastic.
No.
One of top fighters in UFC, which is great. So looking forward, like, what do you think is when do you think is going to be your next title shot?
I don't know. The division at the top is very murky. It's hard to see because Anthony Johnson's popping back up in the picture, and then you got the whole, is DC gonna fight Stipe, or is Tyson Fury gonna fight Stipe, or it's just too much. So I really don't put much energy into projecting into the future. I figure if I beat my way to the division, just beat everybody, they'll have to give me a title shot.
So when you look around MMA, UFC roster in general, who do you think is outside of yourself? Just take yourself as a outside. Who's pound for pound now?
Oh, John Jones. It's still John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who do you think is the absolute GOAT of MMA?
As of right now, it's GST. But if Holloway, if he keeps going on the path he's going on, his trajectory right now, I don't see him losing that belt at 145. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, he can end up being my personal GOAT. I don't know if everyone else agrees, but I've always been a big fan of the Blessed One.
Oh, interesting. I looked through your Instagram, and there are like three big things that I've noticed. Well, first is your daughter, right? You're a proud father. Second is Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Comics. And the third one is a zombie apocalypses.
I'm big into zombies.
Yeah, there are like a couple of questions. First of all, how did your professional life and personal life change with your daughter after your daughter was born?
Uh, it's just now I'm responsible for another life, so just I have obligations. There are things I have to do. It used to be things that I would do them just because I wanted to, but now it's no longer about if I want to. It's just I have to. Like I have to go to practice. I have to get better. I have to improve my skill because I have to get more money. Because I don't want to ever tell my daughter I can't do something for her financially. I don't want her to tell me I want to go to Disney World and I can't afford it. I want to always be able to say yes.
So that's the source of your motivation, basically,
Yeah.
to improve. Got it. So I have a few quick questions. That just Blitz. I'll ask you a quick question. You will give me a quick answer. Okay. So what's your favorite movie?
It's between Blade and Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah,
It's between those two. So I don't know. Between those.
no comics. Come on.
I love those, but you're talking about my favorite. You know?
Well, and Blade you like because it kind of resembles your last name, or you just like the movie?
No, I like vampires and zombies, but Blade's my favorite vampire movie. And the fact that he's black, that definitely helps. Having a black vampire hunter, that's dope.
Who's your favorite singer, band, or rap? Rapper?
Right now, probably my favorite rapper, probably Young Dolph. I'm not sure if you heard of him, but he's pretty big in the South.
Hmm.
I like him, yeah. And I don't really listen to a lot of musical groups, but if I had to say, probably Imagine Dragons. It seemed like alternative rock, kind of like that.
Got it. What's your favorite sport outside of MMA?
Football.
Because you have history, you played it.
Yeah.
Got it. What's your favorite place in the world?
The place I've never been, but a place I always wanted to go to. I've always wanted to go to Ireland just to visit. I've always been fascinated. I was a history major in college. I've always just been fascinated with the history that Ireland has. It's got a rich history.
Got it. So I have my next question was, what's your first item on the bucket list? Is this the one, or you have something else?
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, I don't really have a long bucket list. I'm not a really complicated dude. I spend most of my money on traveling and my daughter. I just like to go places.
Cool. So I have this last question. So imagine there is a zombie apocalypse started, right? And you can team up with 3 other UFC fighters to fight those creeps. Who would those 3 fighters be?
Definitely Stylebender. I like the way he moves. I feel like he would be a valuable asset. Need some more power. Oh, John Jones. Hell yeah. Izzy, John Jones, and I want to say Max Holloway, but I'm going to go with Khabib. He's got that badassness. I want that.
Okay. Yeah. And you guys have similar style of fighting too with Khabib.
Yeah.
Curtis, thank you very much, man, for this interview. I appreciate it. And
no
best
problem.
of luck to you. And I'm looking forward to see your fight with JDS.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.